Hello, welcome to your Entrepreneur Talks here with Yvonne. We're talking about women in charge today. And here with us, can we go around and say who is here for today?
Okay, I'll go first. My name is Cherie. I'm the owner, operator, creator of Crowning Glory Jewels, which is a hair jewel selection made by myself. It's for locks, braids specifically. Um, and I'm also a wife and a mother of two, 18-year-old and a 10-year-old. And I am also a full-time cybersecurity project manager.
I'll go next. My name is Ebony. I am a certified personal trainer and health coach. I'm 28, Stratford, Connecticut area, and honestly, I just found a passion for fitness. So that's really what I do, is just to help motivate and inspire other women and men as well, just to honestly live a healthier, active lifestyle and totally just being the best version of themselves. So very blessed and honored to be here tonight.
My name is Athena, and I am the owner, operator, founder, all that good stuff of 511 Cards. And I specialize in custom cards, so like greeting cards, but just started an affirmation card line. So that for every day, just stating, I'm loved, I'm accepted, I'm forgiven, those types of things. And I am a wife of 9 years, and I have 3 children under the age of 6. My life is busy.
Hi, my name is Sandra. I am the owner and founder of Stuck Up LLC, which is a boutique. I am a mother of 2, a teenage girl and a 3-year-old toddler boy. So yeah, I'm going through it.
All right, so we're going to talk about how it is to be a woman in charge in entrepreneurship. Speaking about the different things, raising a family or conducting your everyday lives and still being able to be a woman in the world, because it's different, I think, for being an entrepreneur as a man. Everybody expects them to be in charge than being a woman, because you also have to have all the traits that you normally have, nurturing and raising a family, as well as being able to be a boss.
For me, especially this past year with COVID hitting, because that's when I really started my Crowning Glory business. But like I said, I'm also a full-time cybersecurity project manager and full-time mother. So I had to figure out how to fit all of those things in my life and balance, being a wife. So for me, for everyone, there's only 24 hours in a day. So I have to make the most out of those hours. I get up a little bit early so I can have my time to myself, probably like around 5:45, 6 o'clock, have my coffee, watch the news or just check social media, check my emails for work, check my emails for my business, make sure my husband is out the door okay. Then I start focusing on the kids. My daughter is in 12th grade, trying to navigate her through college, helping my son with his online classes, but also trying to make sure I have time for myself, because my husband, he has the easy job. He goes out to work and he comes home. All the stuff in the middle, he doesn't have to really deal with, and it doesn't concern him, So I have to take time for myself, make sure I'm okay too, because if I'm not okay, everyone else is not going to be okay. That means not cooking 5, 6, 7 days a week, but maybe ordering out a couple of days just to make life easier on myself. Having my 18-year-old take care of laundry and just balancing things, giving my 10-year-old his chores, taking out the trash, simple things, taking care of the new puppy, which is now on my plate too. So just trying to balance, but also take care of myself, because again, if I don't take care of myself, I can't take care of everyone else.
Yeah, I think self-care is important. I think that's something that sometimes we lose as a nurturer, right? You're taking care of everyone else, you're building your business, you're doing all those things, and we forget to stop, take a moment. The first time I've gotten my nails done, maybe in 6 months. I mean, on top of the pandemic, I wasn't really going, but I usually would go get my feet done at least. It took me like 6 months to say, all right, I have to block this day off and like block the entire day off, because if not, I'll be running around. I'll be like, all right, that's just not important. And I would just stop, so I think that that's also important, making sure that with all the running, we stop for a moment.
I just want to add, like, I definitely agree with the running part. And actually with the helping part with the, so you, Ms. Sharice, you said that you have a husband and that he doesn't do all the stuff in between that you do. So I've learned that, we as women, like you said, we take care on everything. We take on like a lot of stuff. And then when you're crying for help, it's like nobody hears you, because it's like, you're a woman. Go ahead. You got this. This is what you're supposed to do. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, no, I need help. Like, so yeah, I'm starting to learn just to, go and do what you want to do. Like, and I have to take care of me as a woman. If not, then who's going to take care of my kids? So yeah, I'm still learning that, but I'm going to get there soon.
I just want to add on too. I agree a lot with the self-care part. For me, like, I'm single, I don't have any children. But it's been very impactful for me this year, because it's been really helping my mental health. Because if I don't take the time to actually get out and do something, my anxiety level is on an all-time high. So before, it was literally like, my mom would have to remind me, like, I mean, like, you need to go get your nails done. Like, cause I was literally like losing myself to the point where I was like, I actually feel good. Like, I'm excited. My 2 weeks is coming up, and, I'm excited that it's time to go get that filler. I'm about to get, like, when it's time to get that hair done, like, I'll be excited, because now it actually makes me feel good. And that self-love and that self-care, it's like COVID did a big part on that too, for me personally, mental health wise, because we were all forced to sit at home. So you're dealing with everything here. And now it's like I've had to find my different outlets. But I definitely agree. I mean, you guys are some really strong women. Like, I have a dog to look after, but Tinker 10, he pretty much handles his business. Like, so we're okay though. But I totally agree with the self-care.
Don't minimize your caring for the dog, because I do feel like the dog is definitely another child, right? You still have to walk it and feed it. So don't minimize that. For me, I don't have a husband either, but I definitely have my 2 kids who think that they're my friends. I think that's my biggest thing, is trying to make sure that I spend time with them, friendship time, not just cooking dinner or doing the motherly duties, friendship time with them, still making sure that I watch TV with them or play some video games or all those type of things that they do want me to still do. I, go to work, teach, and then I come home and I cook, and then I go take a class for cosmetology, and then I run my business. So in the midst of that, I still have to say, okay, I got to shut down because I have to still be a mom. And then I have to shut down because I have to be me. I have to be human. And I think that becomes hard as well. I'm sure Athena has her whole other layer. She has little tiny ones.
Are you wanting me to say something? It's interesting because I'm sitting here listening to you all, and my 1-year-old son is crying in the background, and my husband is with him and the other 2. And it's been an interesting experience. I don't know if you can hear him there in the kitchen, because I found that asking for help is a part of the self-care, in addition to, getting, hair done and all that kind of thing. And I found that it's not just asking for help, but being specific because I would have conversations with my husband and it'd be like, well, can you help me? And then I would have a conversation that says, well, it's not that you're helping me, is that we both live in a space together and things need to get done. So we're just working together and determining who can do what, and not only that, but like relinquishing this idea of things that need to be done the way that I need to do them. So whether that's giving the kids a bath or loading the dishwasher or sweeping the floor, I may have my, the way that I do things and he has the way that he does things. And I've had to say, the point is that it gets done. So whether or not he starts at the place I start, or instead of, he's like, you know what, today we're going to have eggs for dinner. And I'm like, I could get mad or I could be grateful that I don't have to cook. So it's like, it's not just help, but it's just being like, if this is the help that is going to be, then I will take it gladly, because it's one less thing that I feel like I have to do, and just not putting myself in a situation where, I don't want to be the martyr either. I don't want to just be like, nobody's helping me. And then when help is offered, and I'm like, no, I'll just do it. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's a conflict of, well, what do you really want? So, and then lastly, just understanding where I am, like what season it is. So again, I have 3 children. They're 5, almost 3 and 1. So it's not going to be the way that I want it to be. But if I just accept, certain things, then it won't frustrate me as much, or I won't feel as overwhelmed. And then I could just understand, what, maybe their room doesn't get clean today, and that's fine. Did they have a great day? Sure. So I think I have just had moments where I've just had to redefine what self-care looks like.
And I definitely can hear that. I think that the acceptance piece, right? So accepting like it's not gonna get done the way I want to do it, or in the time that I might want, right? Especially when I'm asking the boys for help. I give them their list of chores, and sometimes the dishes are in the dishwasher the wrong way. Yes, there is a wrong way. I don't, if you think there's not, Anthony, there is a wrong way, right? Or I wanted them done by 3:00 when I got home, and I have to accept that, what, you're doing your chores in the list in order you're doing them in. I'm gonna accept that, because at the end of the day, they're gonna be done. I mean, that's an important part. And that definitely brings me to my next shift of like the dominance that we carry, always taking control of our lives while taking control of our business, because when you run your business, you have kind of complete autonomy to do what you want in your business, right? You get to make the decisions of how you want it to look and how you want your brand to be shaped, but that's not always the same thing when you carry in life. You have to kind of like balance that. And I think that's sometimes hard for me, even for teaching. I think that's where it's the hardest for me in my teaching job. I'm used to having things the way I like to have them. So I have to like pull back and not be so dominant sometimes. And I think that's a balance that I'm definitely still working on.
I'm working on that too. I feel like the way I grew up, I was always in control of things, always took charge. And it was hard for me to give, the reins over to my husband, like, okay, well, you can do this, and I have to trust him to do it. Like you said, even if it's not done the way I want it to be done, like he's doing it. I don't eat hot dogs and baked beans, but he's making it for dinner and the kids are going to eat. That's fine, So just, trusting him more, and it takes a lot off of my plate. I can't complain about having so much on my plate and then he's offering to help or doing something, and just because it's not the way, I would normally do it, you have to pick and choose my battles, and, just trusting that he's going to do what's in the best interest of the family when it comes to anything, not just cooking, but finances and decisions. I was always like that, take charge, control at it. And I have to let a lot of that go, even if I'm in the corner clenching my jaw, like, I let it go. Like, it's not life or death. Okay, it's fine. So I'm trying. I'm a work in progress.
I just wanted to add on really quick because for myself personally, being a business owner, Bad Body Eb and Ebony are literally two different people. Like Bad Body Eb is gonna cut her hair purple. She gonna lift up that 305 pounds. Ebony is real in her comfort zone. I get really nervous. So it's so funny when you say like when you take control when you're in control of your business, like I'm a boss. You can't tell Bad Body Eb nothing. Don't talk to me like that. But Ebony, she's very sensitive. And she might just cry. Bad Body Eb, she don't care, but Ebony might just cry. And it's so funny that you said that because I'm like fighting that now. I'm like, when did you become like that? But that started from my journey as to how I got here. Because 4 years ago, before I started my weight loss journey, you couldn't tell that girl nothing. And as I shed the old layers of myself and embraced the new, it became a whole new, this is a whole new individual. Whole new person. So now I'm literally embarking on my new self, new purpose on life, right? So now it's just so different. And now you have this, I don't want to say character, but she literally, like Bad Bayab she is a character. Like she is her own person, but obviously it's me, but she is her own person. And it's funny because it's like, I would never dye my hair purple or want to even cut it off. I was way too shy, too nervous. But Bad Bayab was like, sis, we need a new look. Like we got to spice it up. So I just like how she said that because in your business you can literally be whoever you want. So I like that. I love that. I'm embracing it and enjoying it.
I was just having this conversation today with my majorette team, and I was telling them how you have to shape who you are when you want to be that person. And it's not about changing you. It's about embracing the space that you're in at that time, right? So when I'm in my hair business, I'm like dominating. I'm confident. I'm in control. I know everything there is to know. Then later on, I might go watch 1,200 videos because I'm questioning myself. When I first started cosmetology school, I've been doing hair forever. And so when I went back, I kind of just did what I had to do, right, to get on the salon floor. And I remember the instructors all saying like, they didn't ask me questions. They didn't try to let me teach because they felt like I knew everything. Because that's how I was when I'm my hair, right? When Evie is doing hair, I'm very, very confident. So I never, I guess, gave the persona that I needed help. But no, I need help. So I remember one time I really needed help and nobody was even coming over to me. So I finally afterwards had to say like, I need some help. And they were like, oh, you don't ever seem like you need help. And I'm like, no, I do sometimes. So I think that sometimes I'm in my zone of I'm dominant and I'm confident and this is who I am. But at some point, back to what Athena said, we got to like stop and say, no, I do need help. I do need someone to assist me with something. I had to like calm down my persona of, oh no, I'm doing here and I know it all.
I think it's an interesting balance between the two, because I feel like oftentimes we equate confidence with not needing help. And I feel like something that I've had to learn is just the perspective of I can show up confidently and in all humility just say, I know what I'm good at and I know what I'm not good at. And the things that I'm not good at, that's the place I need help. Doesn't mean I'm less confident. It just means I just know it. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like even Ebony, when you talked about like the two different characters, it made me think. I'm very intrigued by that because part of me understands that when it comes to certain things. Like, I feel like, again, it's just a matter of like, how you show up is just how it's just going to present. So in my head, my question was, do you think that happens because maybe you don't feel like the sensitive Ebony that you're becoming or that you've discovered can't be the one that is still a boss? You know what I mean? Like, do we have this misconception or this whatever perception that a boss is like, you know what I mean? Or like, as opposed to being a boss that is still sensitive, is still compassionate, is still uncertain. It doesn't, so that if you can answer the question if you want, but that's what it made me think of, because I know for me, that's something that I have even recently been like, I don't have to show up especially in this culture of, you know, this idea of boss, and, you know, it comes across very rough. And I feel like a lot of us, and I know one of the things was femininity in the, as far as the topics were concerned. And I think a lot of times we feel like we have to lose that in order to be in charge, or in order for us to flourish or be successful. And I personally am on a similar journey as far as sensitivity, because I was telling Yvonne that, like, I've had to learn, I'm learning how to be more feminine. And I feel like for such a long time, I didn't feel femininity represented strength. I felt like it was a weakness. And so I'm learning to embrace that, even in my business, even to show up in as feminine as I can be, as, you know, as I go on this journey, and still make sales, and still help people, and still, you know, market, and still all of those things, you know, because the energy for me that I see on social media and stuff, the boss energy of, like, it's almost like overwhelming. Like, I feel like I have to put this, like you said, persona. And I'm like, but that's not who I want to be. So I'm just kind of like, let's try to do something else here. Let's be genuinely and authentically as I discover that, and let that just be who I am in whatever space that I'm in.
Right there. That
Yeah,
I was about to say with Ebony, right? Me and Ebony had definitely had this conversation too, about, and I always said that with Ebony, with being a personal trainer is so dominant, right? We look at that as being dominant and strong and tough, but then she's still really cute, right? So that's a balance that we have to play with. And I think Ebony does it, she does claim it. I think Ebony does it well, that she's really, really cute. I don't know any of her stuff, but she's really, really cute, but then she's also bad, right? She's also dominant. I don't think I'm as cute as Ebony at times, but it is a balance that I'm trying to find, right? Like, even today when we were going to Zoom, I like put some lip gloss on. I was like, you know, that's what girls do, right? So I'm trying to like find that balance, because dominant has always been a masculine thing. And I think that's what I've captured a lot in my life growing up, you know, being tough, being hard, not sharing my feelings. There's people that I've known all my life who probably never see me cry, you know, and I cry often, but not to other people, right? People who are really, really close to me know that, but most people don't get to see me cry, don't get to see me even guess, you know, to them, something happens, I get back up and I keep moving. So I think that that's a real balance. The dominant characteristics that we've been taught of being dominant are more masculine, and you don't get to be soft.
And Athena, you mentioned something that like social media and, you know, the bosses, the women and everything. And starting this business, that was really intimidating to me. I felt like I had to keep up, and I had to do this, and I had to going 24/7 hard for my business. And with me being for my career, cybersecurity, it's fine, it pays the bills and everything, but that's not what I love. I'm creative, I'm hands-on, I like, you know, working with my hands. So that's why I'm doing like the lock jewelry, and then I like paint on the side and everything. But I do it at my own pace. I don't compare myself to the other women and the business owners out there that are, you know, just, they're doing it at their own pace too. Just my pace is different. My pace is probably a little, you know, slower. You know, I make sales, you know, I enjoy doing what I'm doing. But that was just, you know, you mentioned in the boss women, you know, I just try not to compare myself to them and try to do things at, you know, my own pace, you know, which is comfortable for me.
I just wanted to add on to that, also what Athena said too, especially with social media. And again, being a personal trainer. First of all, I work in a gym with a whole bunch of men, and it's very hard. This industry, and I'm pretty sure like in all of our businesses of the industry, it's very difficult. And I don't want to bring in our race, because I mean, I feel like it might be a difference told. It's very hard for us to all grow, because we literally like beat each other up. Like, there's only me and another female trainer at the gym, and we've got controversies, and like this is where you come into, okay, like I feel like she's intimidated to me, but I don't want to say that because I won't want to believe that, because we're all here striving and there's enough clients and business and for every single person, and social media does this too. It makes us, like you said, look at the next person and envy we don't have. And that's why for me personally, that's why Bad Body Eb is Bad Body Eb, because Ebony doesn't care about the money. I don't care. I'm genuinely passionate about what I do. And so I literally have to revert to like my team, like, okay, what do I need to do this week? Because I'm not thinking about really sales. And it sounds kind of crazy because God does that for me. I'm not worried about the money. I'm worried about getting people healthy, right? I'm worried about you following that meal plan. I'm worried about, that's what I'm really passionate about. And I don't want to lose my passion or my compassion about what I do based on sales or money or trying to get into somebody else's lane that is not ordained for me. I can't have anything that's yours. I can only get what's mine, and social media has played a big part in that. But it opens up my mind a lot that the industry that we're in. And sometimes it disgusts me. I was literally like 2 weeks ago, I was crying because like in 1 week I was called self-centered and disrespectful off the strength of me just genuinely being me. And I'm like, I know I'm not those things, but you're like, really? Like people will really just shame your name and your character just out of their own personal. And you're like, okay, and I'm like, little me. I'm like, no way. But it's so true. It's a very competitive industry in fitness. And I didn't know that. Again, I never was the athlete. I was the girl that found a passion in something and I ran with it. And so here I am. And God honestly has been taking care of the rest of it. But for some people, it's like, they woke with the six pack. I still don't have the six pack yet. I still don't got the six pack yet. So why are you mad? I don't got it yet. Like, why are you mad at me? And for a long time, like that shy Ebony was like, you can't do that. Like, you can't be a personal trainer. Like, you're still fat. Like, you can't be a personal trainer. But then you start realizing purpose. And that's where I'm excelling at, staying in my lane and doing what I'm ordained to do, instead of worry about the young lady who may have a doctor's degree, right? Or has the six pack, right? Or has the 200K followers on Instagram. And no, I'm here. I'm here. But yeah, I really do agree with that. And I appreciate you saying that too, because it's not that, not to not answer your question, but it's not that the characters are different. Ebony can't be sensitive, or Bad Body Ed can be sensitive, but this industry is very competitive.
I just want to talk social media thing that you said about people being bosses and stuff like that. Like, honestly, I don't even like the word boss. Like, I like to use the word leader, like, because I think is more, I like that word better, like, because all these bosses, they want to take over the world and do this and do that. But no. What about the people behind you? Like, you know what I'm saying? What are you going to do for them? How are you going to lead them? Like, so I like that word better.
I was going to touch on what Ebony didn't want to touch on, right? So bringing race into it, I do think that also plays a part, right? Because you have the stigma of angry Black woman. It's a tagged phrase everywhere. So not only are we women being a leader, right, or a boss, or dominant, guiding, we also have that stigma attached to us because each of us are also a Black woman, right? So you have the balance of you can't really cross over that threshold and be too dominant, because you might hit that angry Black woman mark to someone else. You might offend them, and then you just become angry, even if you're just trying to speak your truth, or you're just trying to demand your scene at that moment, or your statue at that moment. So I think there's that fine line too of making sure that those roles have a happy balance, because we do have a lot of that, and social media is so heavy, right? It only takes one wrong video to now be angry, or wrong video to now be moody that day. I remember even posting one time like, oh, I can't stand my job today. And it only took 5 minutes for my principal to call me. 5. I'm like not exaggerating. 5 minutes she called me like, what's up? And I was like, what's happening? And she's like, your Facebook. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And so we got into this conversation. I'm like, I'm just having a bad day. But that's how easy it is. And I don't know if she's seen it or somebody else seen it, but it's like, it only takes one moment for you now to be looked at as you're angry. and that's how she took it or whoever took it. But it's just like, it's very fine line with social media and being a leader and being a boss and not being angry and working in an industry. Like for me, my industry is very diverse, right? So in order for me to make sure that my clientele is diverse and that I'm serving the population that it needs to be served, even if my passion is for us and, our kinky curly hair, I still love coloring and doing all types of hair. So I have to make sure that I keep a happy balance so that I don't fulfill the stigma that's already laying on top of me.
Yeah, that happy balance and trying not to leave, out people. But so I was struggling with that a little bit too. But my coworkers are diverse, from black, white, Indian, and I care about them too. They're women, and we've grown and we have a relationship, and I didn't want to leave them out. So I said, how can I, incorporate my business and share this with them too? So, one of my coworkers, a Caucasian woman, she often wears her hair in like a braid and a ponytail, and she has like a rubber band in. And I'm like, okay, let me put this lock jewel on your hair. And like, she loved it. And like, she ordered a bunch and sent it to her daughter in Alaska, or her daughter has locks too. But I just didn't want to leave people out. Just, women, especially women in general, I want to be inclusive. But, I do want to, focus on our women too and uplift our women. So like, I do promote our women and our women in business on, my social media. And I try to use that platform, even though it's small right now, but I'm anticipating it grows. But, I try to use that platform to lift up our women too, but not exclude other women at the same time, that happy balance.
Can I ask a question about that? Why do we need to have a balance in that regard? Like, I think about, really a lot of things that are specifically marketed and targeted for certain groups of people. And that's who they're for. So do we feel like we have to have a balance because, or I should say whoever, Yvonne, even you, like, do you feel like you have to have a balance because you're Black, or do you feel like you have to have a balance because you want to have a balance? Or is it like, because you mentioned the coloring piece, but Black women get their hair colored too. So maybe I just didn't understand. Sorry.
Nope, you do understand.
Oh.
And it was so funny because I think that you did a segment on your page once about it, right? And I really do think it's because I'm Black. I think I automatically feel intimidated in a world that once you start only talking about a group, now you're isolating someone and now someone's highly offended. And it's such a touchy spot. We shouldn't feel that way. I get it. But I do sometimes. I do feel like sometimes like, oh my gosh, I'm going to offend somebody. Even like, all right, so you see my little logo that I put on my mask with the girls on them. And so when I sent it to the lady, I sent her some with like straight wavy hair and some with fro hair. And so she had put them all with fro hair. And I'm like, oh, people are going to feel bad. And I shouldn't have felt that way because I know I love them. Them divas with the fro. I don't ever see, silhouettes with divas and they got froze on. I was pumped about the froze, right? Like, oh, yes. But then I was like, oh, somebody's going to get offended. It is a hard balance to try not to offend people. And especially because I have such a diverse group of friends. Like when I first put out my hair mask, 100% it was for nappy hair, right? It was for our hair. That's what I've been doing. That's what I know. That avocado juice does something special to our hair. But then this lady at work wanted to support me, a white lady, and she did. And I love her. And she loved the mask. And she told me how well it did for her hair and how soft it made. She said after 4 washes, it never hair. And I was like, maybe I do gotta expand my market. Maybe I shouldn't close that door. Maybe I should adjust a little bit. So I just don't want to close the door, so to speak. I don't want to spend too much. I mean, even my son said to me, I remember I was talking about it. Anthony was like, but isn't your goal to make natural women love their hair? And I'm like, yeah, that is. And I had to check myself. Like, I don't need to take away my passion to make people feel comfortable. I just want to find some kind of happy balance so I don't make people feel uncomfortable. And I'm not there yet.
It's interesting because it makes me think about like, the example that comes to my mind is like Junior's clothing. So, clothing for like teens. there are a lot of women who are 20, 30 that shop in the juniors department. But does that mean that, right, so I've bought clothes at the junior, I think I got this at the juniors department. But does that mean that the juniors brand should be like, oh, well, we have 30-year-olds shopping here, so now we have to cater to them? No, it doesn't mean that, you know what I mean? So I think that it's just one of those things where if people decide, like the woman that wanted to support you, to purchase it and they receive a benefit from it, yes, great, we appreciate you. But I feel like you could say you're not the target and it's not necessarily like you're not the goal, but if you partake of it, then great. But I'm not, I'm not here for that. You could just benefit from it and that's fine. So I think that by no means am I saying this is an easy thing, because I still struggle with that. Like for me, my main focus is Christian women. And it's hard for me sometimes, especially with things like affirmation cards, because a lot of that is based on, actually, a lot of it is based on like, let me rephrase. A lot of people that use affirmation cards are in like a more of like a new age mindset from the people that I have seen. So, which again, is all well and good, but my cards are based on scripture. So there's Bible verses on them. And I think it's even in like the Christian community, there's a lot of people that are not still open to the idea of how faith and science do actually work together, how a lot of things, whether it be the brain, how the body works, because God is the one that designed the body. So, he makes it all work together. So in my mind, like, that's where I feel like I should be. If someone who's not a Christian woman decides that they want to buy it, I can't change it, because I feel like I'm changing who I am. And I feel like I'm changing my purpose. And even as Ebony was talking about, like, when you stay in your lane and you stay in your purpose, then it'll come. And people are just automatically going to be offended. I mean, look at the world we live in. Everything offends somebody. So I'd rather offend you for being me than offend you and not offend you. And then I'm not myself. And then I'm coming home and like not wanting to do anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, I might as well just be who I am. And if you get offended, then oh well. So I think that's definitely something that that we need to just consider as a whole. Because I've done the trying to be somebody else for so long, and it's tiring. So I'm like, let me just try it a new way, see how that works. And I feel so much better about myself, but I'm just like, well, even if I don't help as many people as I'd like, and again, with Ebony talking about the compassion and the passion and, wanting people to be better, they'll naturally be drawn because I'm showing up as me. And that's what I really, ultimately want to do. So even for you, like, I am a living witness of how you helped me to love my natural hair. I'm not saying that just to be whatever, like, and I've told you that. I've said to you, like, I was ready to give up, and you put whatever magic potion you did. And I was like, I mean, you saw me. I sent the video to my mother. I'm like, well, look at my hair. But I need you to show up as you so that you can help me. You know what I'm saying? Like, do that. So just encouragement.
Thanks. I think that, and again, I do. And I do get people who say that to me. Like, one of my other clients did the same thing. Like, I remember she sent a picture of her on her hair, and she was what used to be. And she was in the grocery store with the bonnet on, and you can see there was pieces coming out of the bonnet. I was like, girl, you was walking around like that. And I love her dearly, but I love when my clients do that, when they say to me, like, look how much you changed my hair, when really I didn't do anything but love it, right? Or teach you how to love it. I had a client today that came in, we cut his dreads about 6 months ago. He came to me to save his dreads, but there wasn't no saving. So we cut them, and we lift his curls back up, right? Until we could grow them nice and healthy, and then we could start again. And so today he came by just to show me how well he washed and curled his hair. It was like, that's all. It was 5 minutes. Aunt was like, you're done? I'm like, yeah, he just wanted to show me, because he finally has gotten to the point where he loves it. And that makes my soul feel good. And I do have to remind myself of that, because sometimes I think, being in cosmetology school, just like any other school, they teach you white, right? So there's no, culture there at all. And it sometimes brings me out of who I am, because I have to adjust to be there. And that makes me question, like, Am I missing out on excluding people? But you're right. I do have to live in my passion, because I know if I step out of that, I'm not going to have the drive that I have. So I just have to find that happy balance. And I'm sure once I'm done with this, I'll be back to soaring and doing what I love and serving the community that I want to serve. And then the people that support it, that are outside of the community, I love them too. Right. And that just adds to the passion. So I guess we have like 10 minutes left. I want to go around for us to kind of summarize our business a little bit more. Like, what do you want other people to know about how you thrive in your business, your demographic in your business, and like a message to anyone else? The few people that did join us, hello. If you have any questions, you can put them in the chat so that we can answer them before we go. Does anybody want to start doing a little closeout?
I'm gonna go first because I'm a babe, y'all. I'm a babe. All right, let me get it. Okay, so Bad Body Up Fitness, Bad Body Fitness is very. The name was actually given to me, but my objective is always and will forever be take control while you have control. I come from a family of high blood pressure, diabetes, cholesterol, and I was 25 years old at 282 pounds. Didn't even realize it, but I had none of these chronic illnesses. And I decided to take control before a doctor told me that I was a diabetic or I had high blood pressure. And that's literally that's what fuels me every day. Because if I decide to quit tomorrow, the person that wanted to start tomorrow is not going to start. So I have to get up every day and continue to work hard because she's ready. She just needs one more day. She just needs one more day. And I just really want to push that on our community, on anybody though, to really just take control of your life and your health, because health is wealth. It literally starts there. I wouldn't be sitting here had I not took control of my health. And that is really my message and demographic behind my business, which is slowly growing. So we're going to see. I literally just got a logo and I'm super proud of it because it took me 2 years. And now it's like the baby's born. The baby's here. The baby's here. So that's it, guys. Just continue to be great every single day. Strive to be the best version of yourself and realize that in this journey, for me, it's so much bigger than fitness. It is literally a mind, body, and soul transformation. If one is not on accord, you're not going to make it. You're going to want to quit in 30 days or 60 days. And I'm serious, you really have to shed those old layers. Your circle's going to change. People around you are going to look at you different. And that's okay. Okay. So just continue to love yourself, be the best version of yourself. And if you guys need me, you can follow me on Bad Body Ab at Instagram, on Ebony Lewis on Facebook. And yeah, that's it. badbodyab.com. Am I doing good? I'm doing good? Okay.
Okay.
My business is a fashion boutique. So it's called stuckupworld.com. That is my business page. And it was just made, designed for women to boost their confidence and just have fashion, like fun fashion. It's fashion for the bold. It's a fashion statement. And that's what it is. I love it. And I'm going to continue to be on my journey. And good luck to all you women out there.
What's the name of your business again?
It's called Stuck Up World. And my Instagram is stuckup_by BY, and it's ESS. So stuckup_by S. Thank you.
Okay, I'll go. Crowning Glory Hair Jewels. So one of the best decisions about my natural hair, I've been natural for probably about 15 years, but one of the best decisions I ever made was locking my hair around 3 years ago. And, you know, as a Black woman, when you change your hair, it's mental. it really is mental. But again, it was the best decision I ever made. But I'm like, okay, I love my locks and everything, but I'm, going out here, I'm going out there, I want to zhuzh it up a little bit, have something special and sparkly in it, because that's just me. I'm just sparkles all the time. So just, and I'm creative, I was an art minor in college. So I wanted to create something for myself, and something for other women who have locks or who have braids, or it can also go into, ponytails and everything. But I just want to create something for, women to have some alternatives in their hair and just feel beautiful. It's just something different. Just add something special to your hair. And so, yeah, I started this business a little over a year ago. I love it. I do it at my own pace. And let's see. Yeah, it's called Crowning Glory Hair Jewels, and it's on Instagram, Crowning Glory Hair Jewels, and also Facebook. And I have an Etsy shop. So I will be following all of you ladies. Ebony, I have some questions for you, but I will be following all of you ladies after this call today. And thank you, Vaughn, for, letting me participate.
So my business is called 511 Cards. And I said before that we do custom cards, but I think as I continue to figure out who I am, I'm just going to really focus on like the affirmation piece. Just made that decision just now. Thank you, everybody. Yeah, you can still get your card. That's different. I like you. Just kidding. But, and really what I want to focus on is having people know who they are, knowing who God has made them to be. And I feel like especially as people, our purpose and identity is already messed up. And then I feel like, especially for those that believe in Jesus and, try to live the way that the Bible wants them to live, there's still this disconnect. There's still, the mindset is not there. They don't realize that they know that Jesus died on the cross and all that kind of stuff, but they don't live like it. They're still living defeated. They're still living with this mindset that is just not the way that God wants them to be. And so I just find that that's something that I truly want to help people to understand. And so the cards are really a daily reminder as to who you are. So like I said, even the cards talk about being forgiven and loved and accepted and safe and beautiful. And so that's really where I, want to go. Similar to Ebony, my story is really just for such a long time. I struggled. I was really good at imitating my environment, to the point where I would try to lie and be like, oh, I did that too, just so I could be a part of a group, and not really understanding my own purpose, my own identity. And not that, I completely fully get it now, but I do know that there is a plan for me and that I do have things that God wants me to do, and really just being fully invested in that and being okay with that. And as I've gone on that journey, seeing so many other people that resonates with, and I'm like, well, I'm a visual person. So I'm like, what can we do to really help to remind, women of who they are in God and who they are in Christ? And so that's really why I have these cards that I created. So you can go to Instagram and Facebook. My handle is the number 5 and then the word 11 spelled out cards. So the number 5, then ELEVENCARDS. And, you can go to the website and purchase. I have physical cards. There's a PDF option. There's actually wallpaper for your phone. Every time you pick your phone up to check whatever social media, you can see something that says, I'm forgiven, I'm accepted, I'm safe. So I just,
I was like, I see an app coming.
Yes, I'm with you. So yeah, so that's where I am. And I too am grateful for this opportunity. Thank you very much for having me a part of this team.
So I'm going to say thank you for joining me and making this awesome and this conversation so easy, because you women are great. I think that for me, my mission, I've said it before and I'll say it again, is really for people to tap into who they are And a lot of that comes, especially for us Black women, with our hair, from growing up to perming and relaxing it. It's not even called a perm, right? To relaxing your hair, to trying to hot comb your hair, to growing up and you say you want to be natural, but oh, this is really hard. So I'm not gonna really be natural. I'm gonna be natural under this wig. And nothing's wrong with wigs, but I'm just saying, like, that's also part of our struggle sometimes, that sometimes the wig is more than just a wig. Sometimes it's another thing we put on top of our hair because we don't want you to really see our hair. So and I think that in my journey from doing hair, and I've been doing this since, I did my own starting at 11. I worked in a salon at 14. And what the lady in the salon first taught me at the very beginning was how to love my hair and how to teach people to love their hair, how to realize that you don't have to work as hard to look like everyone else, that your hair will never, ever be the same as someone else's, no matter what you think. Your sister, your brother, your mother, your dad. It's not a thing. Your curl is your curl. So my goal is always your hair first, because it's your hair that you have to put first. That is the crown, and everybody knows it as a woman. I don't care if your face is beat, you got full makeup on, you got your lashes on, you got your nails in. If your hair looks a mess, ain't no way you feeling good, right? So my goal is to make you feel good in your hair, to let you know that it doesn't take packs of products and chemicals. If anybody knows me, I am so against chemicals. I try my hardest to use things that are enriched with oils, and I make my oils, because the truth is, loving your hair comes from knowing that you don't have to manipulate it so harshly in order for you to have good hair. It's already there. We have to love it. And still put your braids and your wigs and your weaves on, because those are okay too, right? I do all of those things too, because those things work as well. But being who you are, letting your hair live for you. And as a woman, it's okay to be who you are and be an entrepreneur and do it the way you want to do it. And I can't believe you're making this change, Athena, because I really love your personal cards. I'm gonna need to be on call for those. But I do think that I love all of you. I think I've watched all of you grow into this, that I was fortunate enough to see all of your businesses start. Thank you. I seen Riri. When Riri started her business, I was like, yes, come with it, because she's really sparkly and cute, and I love it. I love to see it. I'm not so sparkly and cute, and so watching her makes me feel like watch Ed's transformation, because I know her since she was a child. Sandra, we've been down way for this, right? So I can understand her stuck up line, because I know what her mission is. I know what her vision is. I know what her goal is. So I just love to be able to see people transform their passion into a business, especially as a woman. I'm going to read this comment. Congrats to all of you. This was wonderful dialogue, and I hope it continues continued success to each of you in your business. That was from the chat. So I'm going to just, stamp in with that, because this was awesome, and I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Bye, guys.